Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we are building a cat cafe and an apartment for a crazy cat lady. In my last video I asked if you had any build ideas you'd like me to try, like a crazy cat lady apartment or something of the sort. And someone whose username is Siwi, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong by the way, commented, how about a crazy cat lady running a cat cafe? And so that is where the idea for this build comes from. So basically there is an apartment upstairs where the cat lady would live, and the whole bottom floor operates as a cat cafe. Now, I will be the first to say that this build is a little bit odd and also silly. But I think we need a little bit of silliness sometimes. I looked up some cat cafe builds in The Sims and saw that none had a cat-like shape, so I really wanted to try that out. It took me so long to actually like the shape of this build, and I kept coming back to it just because I couldn't decide on the changes in colors, and I kept feeling like coming back with a clear head would help. And it did. When I'm feeling stuck, I like stopping and coming back later. And then when I got back, I knew exactly what was bugging me, and I went ahead and changed it. And then the cycle kept repeating itself. But yeah. The first thought I had was to place the roof in a way to mimic the ears of a cat, and the windows I chose also make it look like it has eyes, so I found that funny. But the interior ends up being very cutesy and pastel. We use a lot of the pastel pop kit, and there are many cat activities and cat related stuff inside as well. In the beginning I wanted to go for like a 2-story cat cafe with a mezzanine level where you could look from above down. But then I decided to turn the upstairs into the apartment of the person that's running this cafe. So it ends up not being a mezzanine level, at least not the way it is right now. And by the way, I didn't create any Sims to be a part of this build, but I think it would be really cool if any of you watching this would like to do that. And if you do, I would love to see them, so you can tweet them at me or send them through a DM. My username on Twitter is wiztofu. You can find also my socials info in the description. But yeah, overall, I struggle with the colors for the outside. And actually, I think this is the video or the build in which I include most of the process. Usually I take out footage of parts that don't make it to the end of the build, or that I just end up deleting. But I kept a lot of it this time. I think that for one, it provides more an idea of how many changes a build goes through until its final shape. And two, it actually changes gradually, so it didn't make sense to leave some of the footage out. I think the jumps would be too crazy, and sometimes I found myself asking, how did we go from here to there? But still, there are things I keep out, and you will see transitions from one place to another. But yeah, this is, I suppose, some reasons why I decided to keep a lot of footage in, some footage out. And I think another thing that influenced this is probably the fact that I didn't have any reference images this time. So I went with my gut for this build. And this is actually the part where I make the rest quote-unquote of the cat shape. I only had kind of the head, but then I decided to do like the rest of the body as if it was laying down, and it gives more this illusion of a cat, and I think it's more appealing, and it gives also more space inside to work with. And I had been wanting to extend the interior, and I also placed this roof here to kind of mimic the tail. I thought it's probably one of the silliest things in this build, but also what gives it its character and also a bit of its charm. I don't know, you'll let me know. And also, if you like this build, or if you like any of my builds, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps me so much, and also seeing all of your comments makes me want to build more. And so I have to thank you for your comments, for your words. They really keep me moving forward. And if you have any ideas, I'm also open to that, to any ideas. But yeah, so in the interior I wanted to have a sunken part, and it ends up having a small sunken area, but it's shallow, and it just seemed better if you wanted to have cats around. And this here is probably, or almost, the final shape of the build. Some things change, like that litter box room. It ends up being a little bit bigger. And here I am swapping the windows and the doors for these get to work ones. Again, I think it's better and makes it look more like a business. I also put some little doors for the cats to be able to access some parts of the build that some Sims can't. Like in the inside of the roof that leads to another roof with a glass texture. Oh yeah, and here I made quote-unquote flower with the poofs, and I thought it looked cute, so I kept that in. But yeah, about what I was talking before, that is one thing that I wanted to make sure we had in this build, which is sunlight and daylight. And because cats love warmth and the sun, and they love to lay in the sunlight, so I placed a lot of these cat trees against the windows, and I also included a fireplace. So the sunken area inside, I think, ends up being perfect to like read a book, drink your coffee, and all while being surrounded by cats. And honestly, it's a great date idea if you ask me. I used shelves to do like these paths that you see in a lot of homes actually, and cat cafes, and they go up the walls and down. In The Sims, it's not actually possible, so I didn't play much with it. I included enough to make it look more like a cat cafe. It's more for the illusion. And I included also in another room, which is I think in the sunken area. But yeah, here I am doing like this room ends up being more for the cats and not for the people or the Sims. It's an eating area for the cats where they can relax more, be away from the humans, but there's still a door, so you can, and you have to go there to feed the cats, so I had to keep that in. And here we are working on the sunken area that I was mentioning, and now I'm placing doors, sorry, not doors, what? Tables and chairs on the inside. And actually we swap one of the tables for some counters later on. But this part here, I go back to the outside and change the colors. I wasn't happy with it, at least not at that point. And I swapped the white for a wood color. I think it needed warmth. It was feeling very, I don't know, very white and black, and that is not what I wanted to go for. You can see here there's like a white area, a white thing that I did, a white trim on the roof. I deleted all that. I didn't like it. But yeah, including some or a lot of windows here. And the mezzanine ends up being in this part of the build, so not in the front, but rather in the back. And here we make a little corridor that connects the litter box room and the bathroom, as well as the outside. So it ends up having a little area outside to sit. I thought it would be very nice. And for this part here, I did like a cat shape, which you can't actually see in the final build because it's covered by plants. But I thought it was a good Easter egg, and so I wanted to include it in the speed build. And also I used this rug that has a paw print, and I placed some to let the Sims know that there's another room you can go to and where the cats hang out on. And we work on the landscaping too. We add some more objects for the cats, some toys around as well. I thought that was very important, and a toy box. And I wanted the eating room for the cats to be very their own, so I just placed beds and bowls, and I really wanted a place for them to relax. Here we swap one of the tables for counters. I thought it would be better just because you can have cats going up the counter and lying there while you are sitting there. And this is one trick that I do sometimes, which is use a painting or the frame of the painting and put a poster in front of it. So I like the poster, but I don't like that it doesn't have a trim, so that's why I do that. And I also do that with TV sometimes, especially in older or traditional builds. It gives more character and makes it interesting. So here we add some more bar things, since this is a cafe. And now we work on the kitchen part. Of course, I had to include a cupcake machine. But this kitchen is, it has a lot of appliances, just because you could sell many things here. You have an ice cream machine, you can make tea, you can make waffles. And then this barista thing here was perfect because it had the colors of the whole interior. But yeah, here we are cluttering a part of the kitchen. And I'm actually thinking that we, instead of showing you the process of the apartment, we should just jump into the game, and I will show you how it ends up looking. So here we are at the finished build, and this is what it looks like. To the side, I made like a pathway where you can store your bikes, and I used the tail as a roof for this part in case it's raining. Here is the side of the build with the eating area outside and a little balcony at the top. Here is the back of the build. I kept it quite simple. And now let's go inside and take a look. Before we step in, we actually have some tables here outside. And when you walk in, you have the cafe with a couple of tables. You have here some stools, And over to this area is where you can order a lot of pastries and an espresso machine. Let's take a look here at the left first. So to this door in the corridor, you go to the litter box area. Back into the hall, you have the bathroom, which surprisingly or not, has a lot of cats in the wallpaper. I love this wallpaper with toilet paper. Back again into the hall, and through this door you go into the eating area outside. From here you can kind of see the cat shape. But yeah, I kept it fairly simple with plenty of colors to match the interior. And then to this side we have another relaxing area. We have the sunken area here, really good to relax. A lot of bright colors. Then you have the flower, the sitting flower. This lamp shouldn't be here. You have this huge window, and even in the roof. Here outside I placed a bed for the cats, which they can access through that door, and it connects to this room through that little door. And this is where the cats can eat and maybe sleep a little, stay away from the Sims, because we want to respect the cats. And you can kind of peek into the apartment upstairs, but we'll get there in a second. Over through the cafe here to the left you have the cupcake machine, a little bed right there in case some cat wants to run away from the movement of the cafe. And then to the right you have the kitchen, or the kitchen that belongs to the cafe. Some appliances and clutter. Then you have these huge windows, and now we can go upstairs into the apartment. So as you go up, this is what the area looks like. You have a little sitting area here. The colors pretty much match the downstairs, so the vibes are kind of the same. It made sense for a cat lady, or a crazy cat lady. Some clutter, pastels in the colorful environment. Over here you have the kitchen. I made it yellow with still some colors, and I imagine they wouldn't use this kitchen very much because everything else is downstairs. But still, I included a dining area here, so you have everything to make this functional. And over to this door is a simple bathroom, but has everything you would need. Back again into the bedroom and living room area, we actually have a door that leads outside into this balcony, and it has some chairs here and some plants, and I think it's nice to just sit here and talk with someone. And yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think of this build, if you like it, if you think it's funky, or if you have any suggestions for me to build next time. This is what the floor plan looks like from above. This is the downstairs, and here is the upstairs. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I would love to know what you think. My EA ID is CatsAgainstCrime, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.